We need a catchphrase.
I think we need a motto.
Okay. What's a motto?
Like it's like a phrase that kind of defines, and it's kind of catchy, and it sort of like sums up your podcast.
I don't know what's a motto to you.
Wow, Eric. Wow.
Wow. I'm so clever.
That was painful. That was listening.
That was awesome.
That was listening.
It was. I 100% heard what you said and chose to ignore it.
Yes, you did. I can always rely on you to do that.
Yep. My conversations are more important to me.
Okay.
All right. So, speaking
what
of
are we doing
dumb,
here? Yeah.
we're making
Please.
dumb conversations. And speaking of dumb conversations, do you know what we are, Keegan?
We are dumb.
And
we're comic creators. We're
if we
I can't get
together, we are
it hurts.
dumb.
Now it's really slow. Just say it. Just say it.
Dumb comic creators.
Okay.
And my name is
That
not
was
Keegan Shiner.
the worst intro we've had so far.
Hey, we've had some pretty terrible ones. I don't think that's actually the worst.
I don't know. There was
There's
one
the
where
one where I forgot our show name.
there's the one where I repeated you like a child.
Yes. Like a mature adults that we are.
Yeah.
Anyways, I am Eric Schwartz.
Oh, there's the one where you introduced the guest before the show.
Yeah.
That was good.
I thought that was more important.
Okay.
The show will be here next week, but the guest won't.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyways, as I was saying, I'm Eric Schwartz, and who are you?
Keegan Shiner. Thank you.
And we also have a very, very nice person talking to us today.
Indie comic creator.
Marc Von Ahnen, who I'm pretty sure I just butchered your name.
You got it really close. It's Marc Von Ahnen. So
Ahnen. Oh,
you
wow.
got it
Ahnen.
closer
Ahnen.
than most people. I was actually pretty impressed. I was like, oh, he's actually going to get it.
Yeah, you had too much faith in me. That was your mistake.
So my parents to me.
How's it going, Mark? What's new this week?
Not much. Just working and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Having a good week. How are you?
Good. Working, hanging out. Eric?
Working, hanging out, reading comics.
Yeah. And one of the comics we read was Ahab Van Helsing versus Nosferatu Charodon. I should have looked up the
Arcaradon, I think.
Charcarodon.
For
yes.
those that are not watching, Mark is actually showing us all 6 comics autographed, by the way.
One if you.
Wow.
Yeah.
To a girl I'll never see again.
Wait, tell this story. What do you mean?
Well, for work right now, I'm doing I'm working for a company called GoPuff, where you deliver, like, it's kind of funny because their slogan is no judgment, just delivery. And I was like, that is a weird slogan. And then I worked there for like 20 minutes and I realized all we're delivering is like Doritos and Ben and Jerry's ice cream and Mountain Dew. I'm like, oh, it's because everybody's stoned. We're delivering snacks to people that are too high to drive.
Oh, wow.
And we deliver alcohol too. So I delivered beer to this girl, and you have to call them when you deliver. And I said, hey, it's Mark from GoPuff. And so she's like, okay, I'll be right down. She comes down from her apartment. She's like, hi, Mark. And when I saw her, I was like, do I know this girl? And I was like, and then I was like, do I know you? And she's like, no. I was like, how did you know my name? She's like, you just told me. I was like, oh, I thought maybe I knew you in the stand-up comedy circle, because I do stand-up comedy here in the hotbed stand-up comedy scene of Des Moines, Iowa.
Yeah, that's a hot ticket.
Yeah.
Yes, I will probably be on HBO or Netflix by the end of the week. But she was like super into that, so she came out to a show, and then she got just obliterated. Like, I've never seen any human being this drunk and alive. And like to a point where I had to give her a ride home because I was the only one who knew where she lived, which is weird.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. But she did. She bought all of my comics. She bought every issue. She made me autograph one to her. And then she forgot them at the bar. And now I'll never see her again. And I just saw, and she has like an unusual name. It's not like Betty or Sue, or, you know, somebody you would meet. It's like, she's the first person I've ever met with that name. So
you haven't gone back to her apartment though, right?
I don't remember where she lives
or
now.
House. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then plus that feels very stocky.
Oh, that's very stocky.
Yeah.
We're glad that you said
drop
no.
it in the mailbox and never see her again. Just leave her a note saying, "I'm watching you."
I think she could put it together as me.
Or yeah,
So
that's not a bad idea. Just
First of
kind of
all,
leave them on
sign
the
your
stoop.
work if you're leaving a note.
that's true. Yeah. So most stalkers have some sort of penmanship or some sort of letter they leave people. So I'll just leave my comic, get the word out there. Maybe she'll buy something from the Threadless store.
Most stalkers, yeah. Yeah, let's talk about what most
from
stalkers
personal
do.
experience with stalkers.
I've never had one. Nobody likes me enough to stalk me.
I was gonna say most stalkers take something; they don't leave something. Isn't that more? Maybe I'm thinking of serial killers here, but
I'm sure serial killers definitely take something.
But don't serial killers also stalk, or is it more just kind of in the moment?
It depends on the type of serial killer.
We should do like a podcast called Serial.
Hey, the number one type of podcast is murder mystery, so we could totally do that.
This podcast is going to break into the top 10.
What if it's what kind of serial killers would eat?
Yeah, exactly. About the day-to-day of a serial killer.
The inception of serial killers.
Did you kill anyone today? No. But
are you going to try to kill somebody?
I tried life cereal, and it was I murdered that.
I murdered some Count Chocula.
Yeah.
It got me in the mood to, but I ate it out of a guy's head, so it counts.
I ate Cheerios. Well, what's so special about that? Well, I killed the guy and went to his apartment and ate his Cheerios.
That's like salt in the wound.
He's not gonna want it then. He's dead. I don't think it's like first thing to do is his family's gonna come in and it's like, oh, John's dead. But worse, his Cheerios are gone.
What if they left the Cheerios in the will?
That would be really bad salt in the wound.
That's awkward because if they don't clear that house out fast enough, those Cheerios are going to be stale. And that's like leaving behind stale Cheerios when you die is kind of like, it's rude.
That's, I believe when a family member gets murdered, the first thing they worry about is the food. Is it going to go bad? Who's going to eat this bread? Does anybody need milk?
Martha, we got to clear the fridge here. Stop worrying about the mess.
Guys. I think he just went to the store. It's just inconvenient.
Did Ryan make any cookies? That's the question that we're all asking. Not whether or not who killed him and whether or not the killer's still out there.
Well, it was the thing he did best. It was the thing he did best. Yes. And yeah. So, Mark, you have made some comics.
I did. I want to say something real quick, actually. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I think it's really funny. Before we started, you were both like, is there anything we don't want to talk about? Like anything? And then like 5 seconds in, we're talking about eating cereal out of human heads. And like, oh man, I probably should have said something other than nothing. I didn't know this is where it was going to go.
Well, if you had said like, I have an uncomfortable feeling about eating cereal out of someone's head, we would not have brought it up.
I think it's your fault. Yeah.
No, it's totally my fault.
Yeah.
I should have thought of every possible.
We talk about that every day, and if you didn't want to talk about that, you should have just told us.
So I have this text from Keegan because we talk outside of this podcast, and his first question is, "Hey Eric, you up? Are you eating cereal out of someone's head?" And I'm like, "Not yet." He's like, "Why not?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I got to work on that."
Why wouldn't you be doing that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna move on.
I can't imagine.
Move on.
So actually, talk about what we brought you on for.
Yes.
Oh, it wasn't that?
Although, it's kind of like bread bowls, head bowls.
Oh, I've not had Panera bread bowl in such a long time. I need to eat that. Those things are delicious.
It's too many carbs. That's what you learn as an adult.
It's like 2 pounds of like fat per like bite, but it's delicious.
Comics. That's what we're supposed to be doing. All right.
There's
so
a lot of comics.
okay, so let's say Carcharodon. Carcharodon?
Carcharodon's how I pronounce it. I could be wrong.
Say it again.
Dorian.
Carcharodon?
Carcharodon. Okay, I got it.
No, it means vampire shark.
What really Nosferatu. Oh,
Yeah.
Carcharodon actually means vampire shark?
No, it means shark. Nosferatu.
That means shark. Nosferatu means vampire.
Yeah.
Okay.
It would have made more sense just to call it vampire shark, but I think I wanted to have like a smart title, and then inside is the dumbest thing. People are like, what is this? Why?
Well, I think the title is wonderful.
Thank you.
The title makes a lot of sense.
It's nobody can pronounce it.
Yeah.
One person, I was even 100% sure of like, this is wrong. And somebody's going to be like, that's not what that means. This just looks stupid. And I was selling them at a con, and a woman came up, and I'm like, you know what that means? She's like, yeah, it says vampire shark. Like, she knew it right away. So.
Oh, yeah. No, I knew what Carcharodon is. I've never said the word out loud or heard it, from what I know.
I could be pronounced. I'm not a marine biologist, so I'm no George.
I'm a big Shark Week guy. You know, I watch that sometimes. And
oh, I should mail him to Shaq and see how it's pronounced. Or my.
You could do one of those like cameos, and then put that on your website.
That would be amazing. I have Gilbert Godfrey has copies of them.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
Yeah. So does I don't know if you know who Frank Turner is, but musician's Frank Turner. So I've hooked them up with some. They didn't seem to care.
Oh, I
they
see.
were much less interested in it than I was, but like some girl from.
Yeah.
So
girls probably
just
leave
to
better
give the
things.
basic summary of your story plot line, it's a very deep and intellectually moving story. I cried 3 times after I read the first word, but for those that don't understand that description, it's literally shark eats a vampire and becomes a vampire. Correct.
The whole thing is, honestly, it was mostly based on or inspired by like Sam Raimi movies, like Army of Darkness and Evil Dead, because I remember watching Army of Darkness when I was a kid, and it was like hilarious. Like I was weird because it was a horror movie and it was supposed to be scary, but at the same time it was super funny to me.
Yeah.
So it's hilarious. No, it's absolutely quotable. It's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
The first one was supposed to be scary, and then the second one they kind of started giving the comedy. The third one, Army of Darkness, pure comedy.
Oh, yeah, he didn't care anymore, and that's what I was like. That's where I started with. I was like, I kind of want to do like a Sam Raimi style story, and sort of went from there. Like, what if there's a vampire shark? Okay, let's go. And then I made this.
So so we kind of go through the process that artists and writers go through when they're making comics. So just starting at the beginning, is this your first comic that you've made?
Yeah, this is my first. I actually probably wrote it a good 15 years ago.
Okay.
And I just kind of sat on it, and I decided I was like, I actually want to make this. And I released it. I wrote it before Sharknado and Sharktopus and all that. I had this. So maybe I'm late to the game now. I don't know. But
I don't think so. I think still popular. Sharks
I
aren't going anywhere.
If Sharknado
people
6,
like sharks.
If Sharknado 6 took this plot line, because Sharknado 5 took like angels and demons. I mean, where else are they going to go? They're going to go to vampires eventually.
I didn't know angels and demons got in. You just ruined the Sharknado movies for me. Thanks a lot.
Spoiler
man.
alert.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Well, you had to watch 1 through 4 to understand 5, so it's all
I
right.
was gonna binge them.
You have to
all,
watch
like
them
Lord of the Rings.
chronologically.
You have to watch them
Oh
chronologically.
my god. All right. Well, that's too many hours for me.
Or not enough.
It's not like Fast and Furious where you can just kind of jump in at 4 and Han's already dead.
Yeah. And it makes sense. The storyline in Fast and Furious, it's just go with it. They're not going to be out racing submarines or tanks. That would be ridiculous. So
yeah. Okay, so you wrote comic book scripts 15 years ago. Was it originally a comic?
Yeah, I think it was always intended to be a comic, and that was like I always had this like idea, of like what I thought would be a fun comic, and I just sort of sat on it. And I actually, it was really weird because I think originally I was going to do it as a one shot, and I could never like figure out how to like the Ahab character. Because I think I started with the vampire sharks first. Like the first thing is like, what would happen if a shark ate a vampire? I was like, well, what if the vampire got all of the vampire powers? Or the shark got all the vampire powers? And then I was like, well, then he needs somebody to fight. And that's where I came up with Ahab Van Helsing, which I was trying to, again, sound smart, except for the fact that Ahab went after a whale and not a shark. So even that doesn't work.
We kind of got it.
Yeah.
It's a whale of a shark.
Yeah. But originally it was going to be like Ahab was like a vampire hunter and he had to go up against a shark. Or like maybe he's a shark or he just hunts vampire sharks. Like he's really specific. And I just...
My time has come.
Yeah, like he was ready. And eventually I just went with the Jaws route. Like, well, he's just a sheriff in this town.
Yeah.
And it was actually kind of fun because honestly, I didn't plan anything out beyond that. Like I just sort of had this idea and I just started writing it down. Like I didn't plot it out and like think ahead, I guess even. I just started writing, and my idea was in the third issue, they chase the vampire in the second issue, at the end of it, they chase the vampire shark into the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to fish it up and use the sun to kill it. And to me, that originally that was going to be the ending, where it's just they'll have this fight there. And then I started thinking, like, wait a minute, if he's at the bottom of the ocean, there's no sun and there's a ton of stuff down there.
Yeah.
So he could just be biting everything.
Yeah.
And so that's where to me, like the actual idea kind of flourished, because it's like, now suddenly you can have all sorts of crazy vampire.
You can really tell. That's when you like hit the gas pedal in these comics. Yeah.
And it really like kind of was a shot in the arm of like fun, I guess, and energy.
So when did you you wrote it 15 years ago? You decided to make it recently, or relatively recently. How did you get started? Like, how did you go from script to page?
Well, it was because I was working at a local comic book store where I was working there to raise money. Okay. And it's where I sell these. If you're in the Des Moines area, it's JC Hobby. But I was working there at the time, and my idea was I was going to put money away and then, find out how much I would need for an artist, and then find that and then start pursuing it that way. But of course, you know how life works, where I'm raising money for this, and then suddenly something breaks on my car.
Yeah.
And I have to put like $2,000 into that. And then it's one of those things where it's like every time I like started to raise the money, something happened and I had to wipe it out. So eventually I got to a point where I was just like, can I cuss on this? I don't know if you guys cuss.
We try not to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Finally, I was like, all right, forget it. I'm just going to do a 401k loan. And I withdrew a couple grand, I guess.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I went on to like just Facebook groups and saying, this is the idea. I have an idea where I want a vampire and a shark, pretty much, and then a vampire shark mixed. I was like, if anybody is interested, message me. And then I just started getting messages from people all over, because I was like, I have the money. I'm ready to pay you. And that's where I met a dude named Jamal Sims. He was a really cool guy. And he was awesome to work with, because he was, he wrote up a contract and it was like,
Jamal Patterson, I think.
Oh, Patterson. Yeah.
Yeah.
I should
Okay.
know that since I've talked
Well,
to these people.
Jonathan Sims is the
Yeah,
letter. Was the
Jonathan
letter?
is my
Yeah.
friend. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
But no, Jamal, he was a cool dude, and like he sent me a contract and was like, "I'm going to give you a piece of art every week." So every
Wow.
single week, and I was like, "Oh, that was nice." So every week I got a new piece, and then I went to Jonathan, and he did the lettering for us, and he actually did the 4th cover, which I'll show you.
Oh yeah.
This one, which I think is pretty sweet. It's just a hermit crab using a human head as a shell.
Oh,
So
well, I'll share my screen so that if people
Okay.
are watching.
So not only can you use human heads as cereal bowls, but you can use them as a shell for a hermit crab.
It's very Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Under the sea.
That one was more, yeah. The next one, the one that seemed to get the most attention was number 5, which I thought would be funny if it was like The Little Mermaid. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I just said that is my second artist, Gary McCluskey, and I sent him a message. I'm like, "Can you do this for the sharks on a rock like Little Mermaid?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I don't know who said that he should have a seashell bra, but
It's brilliant.
yeah, and like people will walk back by my table and point at that and just laugh. So, and I think that's a great cover because it definitely kind of gives the tone of what I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, it's kind of gory and graphic, but it's also stupid and funny.
Yeah. Yeah. It's campy. Yeah.
Yeah, which is what I want. So,
Right. Right. So Jamal did the first 2 books.
Yep.
And then you made a switch to Gary McCluskey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So can you talk about what it was like maybe working with the first artist versus the second artist?
It was all pretty easy. The reason I had to switch, I was going to go with Jamal the entire time. And I had my money raised up, and he eventually said, I don't have time. I've got a lot of stuff. And I think he was moving and had a kid on the way, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. I got his name wrong, so don't trust me. But I think he was, he just had a lot on his plate, and he felt bad that he couldn't continue. It was, understood. And that's where Gary came along. And again, same thing. I found him in a Facebook group, just threw out that, hey, I'm looking for this if you're interested. And all I did with him, because it was really interesting, because I was getting messages left and right from people who are like, what about this? I'm like, well, let me see some of your work. And then they wouldn't show me anything. I'm like, well, I'm not going to give you money if I can't see what you've done. And then it's like, one guy was like, well, I'm going to get started right now. And I'm like, I didn't hire you. Like, I didn't say I wanted you to do it. And Gary was the guy, and like, I liked his stuff. And what I said to him was like, I really like this. I'm like, why don't you do me a favor? Draw up a vampire shark fighting Ahab. Just something. Send it to me, and if I like it, we'll go forward. And it was awesome. Like, it's actually the back of my phone. I have it. It's on my Threadless store, so I can't show it to you. Because it's just sweet picture. And the second I saw it, like, all right, we are in business. And
was it a different dynamic working with him than working with the first artist?
Not really, because I just sort of sent him the money first, and then I sent him the script, and I would just start getting artwork. Once all that was done, it was sort of like just on its own, I guess, just working.
Did you write all the issues at once, or did you kind of write as they were made?
No, I wrote them all at once. Like I said, I've had this, like, the whole thing was sitting here for 15 years. So they've been, and I just had them in a drawer, like a drive, didn't know what to do with them. And eventually I'm like, screw it. I'm doing it. And,
Cool.
Yeah.
Really well.
So I know it's fun. You learn a lot about, making comics and stuff. So it's been pretty cool. And since I've done this, I don't know if you saw, but I have my first published story in an Ahoy Comics
Oh, really?
Issue of Captain Ginger, I think volume 3, issue 2, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
And it's my short story called Love is Magic, which was a comedy sketch I wrote, but had no ability to produce. So I just rewrote it as a short and they liked it. And so, yeah, I mean, since I've started this, I've gotten some, been published somewhere. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So your background is stand-up, or is it like improv, or is it sketch, or what is your background in comedy?
Comedy-wise, I'm mostly just stand-up. I have a lot of, the reason I did the sketches, I used to I'm that guy who just blurts out stupid stuff and trying to get my friends to laugh. And I had a friend that eventually was like, you should try stand-up comedy. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I will. And I did. And I've really, it's fun. It's fun. It's like a double-edged sword, because if you do really well, it's like the greatest experience of your life. But if you do awful, it's like, why did I do that? And I hate everything about my life. And
that's how I feel when we do introductions, Eric.
In the words of Jeff Griggs, who's a big improv teacher in Chicago, bad improv is like trying to take a dump outside the side of your tuchus.
That's great. You guys are located in Chicago?
I'm located in Chicago.
I'm in Boston, but I'm from there.
We met in Chicago-ish area.
Yeah, I've done an open mic in Chicago. I've done a couple.
Oh, cool.
I knew I had friends that moved to Chicago, and I've been to Boston. I saw Dropkick Murphys there.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's an experience.
Fantastic band.
Oh yeah, I saw them on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh yeah, that's a hell of a show.
Have you done it?
No, but I know it is. I don't need to be there to experience that in my head.
Oh, it was a blast.
It's too intense. I fall asleep like before I leave the house. I'm like, yeah, I'm tired just thinking about it, in other words.
It'll wear you out, man.
So that was a great question I just had. It was like taking a dump outside on the side of your tuchus, that question. So you took your background, did your background in stand-up apply it all to your shark comic, or not really?
Not really. I mean, I guess it, not stand-up in background, but I guess it's a lot of how you think. Like they always talk about, if you listen to like a lot of comedians, especially Seinfeld's always fascinated with the way comedians think. And it's always we look at things differently as a comic. And I shouldn't say we, since I'm not a professional comic. It's not like I'm just putting myself in there.
You can say we. We're not going to stop you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. But I mean, I think it helped like that, where you like kind of think outside of the box of like, what kind of crazy things can I do here? Like, instead of just a straight up, there's a vampire shark flying around eating people. Well, it's like, well, now there's vampire jellyfish that are wrapping people up and, eating them when they're tentacles or what have you. Or,
I think my favorite panel is the woman who has like a clownfish coming out of her stomach.
Yeah. It was just like, there's like 2 whole pages where it was literally nothing but people getting eaten by different animals.
Yeah, they're just various bits. Oh no, not the clownfish. It's the turtle that's dragging the woman by the leg, and she's like frustrated with how long it's taking.
Yeah, thank you.
Also, that had a great payoff with follow-up spoilers for those who are going to be reading it. There's a normal turtle as well. And I thought that payoff was fantastic.
Yeah, that was it.
That normal turtle, he doesn't fare well.
And people really like are worried about page count with comics and like hitting that exact page count. Were you worried about that, or are these kind of like, were you crafting it to 22 pages or a certain page count?
I just wanted to make sure it was long enough to be a comic.
Okay.
It's like when you're a little kid and you make comics, it's like 3 pages long. I was like, well, I can't sell that.
Yeah.
So, and I think what I would do, honestly, when I started doing this, is I would take like an issue of like an independent comic, and it'd probably be like something from Image or something, maybe Invincible or something like that, and just count the pages that weren't ads and say, all right, that's what I'm going to aim at, you know. And I think most times I got to like 16. So it's like, okay, 16 pages, that's what I'm going to aim for.
I see.
So,
I see. Because spending like a whole page on whether or not a turtle is alive in the middle of a vampire comic is brilliant. Like,
thank you.
we cared about that turtle for like a lot of time relative to your comic, you know?
It was important. I thought people should know about it.
Right. If it was a movie, that'd be a solid minute. That's like a long, that's a lot of frames.
If that was a movie, that would be the entire movie, just looking at that turtle. Be like, look at him go. He's so fast. Oh, no.
I was really proud. The thing I was proud of, and I think I remember this from an old Peter Benchley movie where it's like a giant squid comes up to town and starts attacking. And all the suckers, they have actual teeth on them.
Yeah.
And I've always remembered that. And so when I was like, that's one of the things I was like, if you get hit by the suckers, would that count as being bit? Like, so now they have to like start trying to figure out, well, does that count?
Right.
Is he
So,
bit?
oh yeah. So that brings up a good point. You have a character that is an actual vampire hunter in the first 2 books, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yes.
first 3? Maybe in the first 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And then he just is like, nah, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Screw you guys. I only deal with land vampires.
That is to me when I was because I like I said, this was like a Sam Raimi idea. It's like Sam Raimi movie.
Okay.
And that character to me was like Bruce Campbell. Like, so it's always, every time I wrote like that character is like, what would Bruce Campbell do? And I wanted to set him up as like, he was going to be the Obi-Wan Kenobi. And you're like, oh, like he's going to be important.
Oh.
And then you get to a point where he's just like, I'm not doing this. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have to.
He just quit. I'd never seen a main character quit the comic before.
Halfway through, she's like, I'm done.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't do water because you can't. Vampires, you don't drown usually.
And
Yeah.
he's like seasick and he's on a boat, which is
Yeah.
that's
Thank
very
you.
Jaws, but that's just great storytelling too.
Oh, thank you. I told it to somebody like I have a friend who was like went to film school, and he was like, you can't do that. You can't just have a. I'm like, no, why can't you? Like, where is it written? Like, he does make one cameo later on, but you know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's the intro of the comic sets it up as him being the hero, but there's a lot of intros to things where like the hero comes in later.
Yeah.
You know, and the hero is the sheriff in this case.
Yes.
And he does show up and he does interact with this guy, but yeah, it's just
he just leaves him, which I thought was so funny.
I'm not enjoying this. I'm out.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Can't blame him.
I had a question. Hold on. Oh, I don't know. I can't think of it.
So where can people meet or like find your work? Obviously outside of Des Moines.
No, wait. Before we get to the wrap up.
Okay, never mind. I'm sorry.
Okay, so how did you publish these? We're dumb comic creators. We want to know about that process.
You know what? It's great. There is an ad, because all you have to do is you get all the artwork, you get it together. I sound like I'm working for these people, but they're actually really great. Comics Wellspring, and all you do is just you send them like a shareable drive, and like they put it together and they send it to you, and it's super easy. Like, to be honest with you, it really is. It's like the hardest part is writing it and then getting the money, I guess.
And getting the money. Yeah.
Yeah, but beyond that, it's actually really easy. Like, to get, like, if you can think of the idea and get it on paper, beyond that, it's super easy to get it actually in your hands.
If you can pay for it and send it to people.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I don't know how, like, you know, you hear the story about like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles blowing up and selling hundreds of thousands of copies. You know, I haven't had that success, but I don't know how they would have done it either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
They
it doesn't
literally
make
wrote
any
it in on their kitchen table, and I think they said their uncle was one that printed it for them.
yeah,
So-
no, but I wouldn't even, like, back then, I wouldn't even know how to find a printer. You know what I mean? They couldn't Google it.
I think they were lucky because they said their uncle who did like posters or something. I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So their uncle just printed smaller posters for them, and they stapled them together. And they're like,
Wow.
done.
I thought Vanilla Ice did it for him.
No, he just made them a success.
Yes.
He did. That's when I was a kid and I saw Vanilla Ice was going to be in that second movie. I was so excited. How old are you guys? Do you even know who Vanilla Ice is?
We're on the edge.
He's on the Celebrity Losing Weight TV show. That's who he is.
Is he really?
He was for a while ago. He was like on one of their first seasons.
I never thought he was overweight.
Apparently he was.
He's
I remember when-
that skinny fat, you know?
Yeah.
Skinny fat.
Yeah. I don't have that. I have fat.
Yeah.
I'm like
he wrote
normal.
that totally original song. Not like based on
Does it have the ting?
Yeah, it's got the ting. It's
That's one of my favorite interviews. Not the same thing. It doesn't have that little ting.
got the little ting. It's totally different.
We covered everything. Vampire Shark, Vanilla Ice, eating cereal out of heads.
So, not to spoil your comic, but it ends in such a way that a thing could lead to another thing to a thing. Is there going to be a following thing with this storyline, or is it over and done with?
To me, I always thought this is weird. I thought it was over and done with, but I used to have a job where I would just sit at a desk all day and I didn't do anything. Like, literally, I was paid to watch YouTube. And you can only watch so much YouTube. And I would just start writing things. And I wrote the Christmas special, the Ahab Van Helsing Christmas special.
Oh, wow.
Where Santa is bitten by a werewolf and Ahab has to take care of it. And so Gary and I have talked about it, and there's no way we'd be able to get it done this year. But I'm going to try. We're going to aim for like next Christmas. Have this Ahab. So there might be one more issue in the works of the Christmas one. So
Awesome. Yeah, you should bring this back. I agree.
You should bring this back. Like,
Yeah.
it's a fun story. It's a fun story to watch.
Thank you.
Let's go. Are you a big Simpsons fan?
you want to see something real quick?
Sure. Yes.
You have a tattoo of.
It's my there's actually kind of a story behind this tattoo. It's Marge Simpson, the episode. Do you know the episode?
I didn't see it well enough to know, but
It was tough to see.
it was tough to see.
Oh, I'll do it again. You see it?
Crazy Eyes Marge Simpson. Is that the
She a
one where
snail?
Close.
is that the one of the Halloween special where Homer goes back in time and changes things?
No, that's a good guess though. There's an episode where Homer, it's called Marge on the Lam, and Marge is with her friend. Homer's in the back of a cop car, and then her friend's car is stolen, so she shuts the lights off because the other car, Chief Wiggum starts following her, and he's gonna pull her over because their taillights are the wrong size or something. So he's gonna pull him over, and then she's like, "This car is stolen," and then they start this chase. Chief Wiggum has to get on the horns, like, "I'm following a car. It's two females. One of the women is in pearls and has a lot of blue hair." And Homer starts laughing, says, "A lot of blue hair." And that's what he thinks of. Like, that's what he thinks that person looks like. And it makes me laugh. There is a story behind this tattoo. It's kind of sad, but I'll tell you if you want to hear it.
We're all ears.
We're this far.
This is 100%. I wanted a Simpsons tattoo for a while because this is like, I've had like 4 other ones. I have a Shawshank Redemption tattoo. I have Bogus tattooed to my back. And then a Ramones and Frank Turner tattoo. but I wanted a Simpsons one, and like this is the one I decided on. Like I was like, oh, that's like my favorite moment, and I didn't know, like I wasn't sure where I was gonna have it on my body or when, yada yada yada. But this is where it gets kind of sad. My mom passed away. Like it was kind of unexpected, and you get that point of grieving where it's like nothing matters. Who gives a shit anymore, or who cares anymore? Sorry. And I was just like, I don't care. I'm getting a tattoo. And they're like, we're going to put it here on your arm. And I said, that's fine. And then like 2 weeks later, I was like, oh, when you're not grieving so much, you're like, I don't know that that's where I would have got it.
There are different stages.
Yeah, like, is that, this is the moral is, I'm all pro tattoo. Like I love getting tattoos. But if somebody dies and you're grieving, don't get it right away because you could end up with a Mike. Yeah, like I've always wanted a Mike Tyson face tattoo. And who cares?
Did you go through all 5 stages of grief with a tattoo right away? Like, oh God, no! Like I didn't do this. Fear or like rejection, anger, all that.
No. I think it was a lot of people, like especially my dad, was like, "What?" He's like, I don't care, but why? My favorite. So my niece got like my mom's like a signature and like something my mom wrote her, and she's got a couple tattoos dedicated to my mom, which is really funny because my mom hated tattoos. Like we're like honoring my mom's memory in like the worst way possible, in a way that she absolutely would have hated.
Yep.
That's
awesome.
Yeah.
So I think what Eric was trying to get at with the Simpsons, Simpsons segue was that you have a whole comic of Howdy Doodlies of Ned Flanders to speak.
Yes, the Ned Flanders edition. Yes,
I'm going to share this.
Huh?
Eric, what'd you think of this?
It was the first one I read, and I didn't realize it was a special issue. So I'm like, what is this comic? Why am I reading this? And I kept going back like, why is he have a picture of Ned Flanders? How do you get away with that? What's going on?
I don't know. I don't know that I could get away with it. I just was like, I'm gonna do it. And then I was like, I would get like a booth at like some cons, and I would have it out there, and I would be like, oh, there'd be like a guy that works for Bongo Comics or something. I'm like, I'm not gonna put this one out today because I'll probably get sued. But yeah, I do have the Oakley Dokley edition.
Let's read this for a second, Eric. So I'll start. Is that him?
Strange guy, we diddly dingy dong don't know diddly dingy dong dressed in black.
So you think that's him?
Yes, Justin, I would say that is a safe bet.
Holy moly, who is this guy?
Why, are you scared? This is the protecting part of the protect and serve.
Dandy morning, how are you?
Dandy morning, I am fine.
My noodly name is Victorino. What is yours?
Police Chief James Van Helsing, diddly Helsing.
You seem to have a lot of pouches on that coat. What diddly ding dong do you have in it?
Noodly nothing illegally here. You are well diddly welcome to search it, do it.
Garlic crosses.
I can't read the rest. You get to scroll down.
I did.
I still can't see it.
Zoom. Okay, well, that was pretty good.
There's if you guys wonder how I am so good at Ned Flanders speak, there's a Ned Flanders translator on. So you could take any script and it will translate it into Ned Flanders.
Is that what you did on this one?
Yeah, I just started putting
cool.
all the dialogue into the Ned Flanders. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do this.
I thought I don't know if you had like a stand-up routine with it based on because you were just spending the entire time doing the Ned Flanders stand-up routine.
Oh, you could, yeah. I should do that. Or old George Carlin or Richard Pryor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was a very interesting choice, and I'm very happy that I saw this.
Thank you.
I still was like surprised, like, oh, this isn't the actual comic, because I was like, why why is this so weird? Who's talking?
Could you imagine if the whole thing was just Ned Flanders speak? Like all your that's all you sent us, and like that's how you punked the dumb comic creators. You just sent us a bunch of like fake comics. I'm not giving anyone any ideas right now.
Just here it is. It's a new language called Flanders. No, I did. I pitched it. I sent an issue to like a small comics publisher, and I accidentally sent them that one.
Oh God.
They're like, yeah, no. And then I realized like, oh, I'm like, that's not the right one. They're like, no, just leave us alone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. So, Mark, it's been amazing having you on.
Thank you. I had fun.
Glad you enjoyed it. We learned a lot about skulls.
We learned a lot about skulls, what you can do with them.
Yeah.
And sharks.
And sharks.
Yes.
And do you have any comics or something you want to promote? Like, how can we buy your comics online?
If you're in like I said, Des Moines area, which I'm sure JC and Hobby has 3 locations, but they're at 2. So they have every issue, including one Ned Flanders,
Oh wow.
which I don't think I'm going to get printed again. So it's probably going to be worth a lot of money soon. So hang on to that. But if you're not in those areas, you can email me and I'll hook you up with digital comics. My email is mvonhanen@gmail.com. And I know what you're saying. He spelled his last name wrong because on my cover, it's AHNEN. That is correct. I spelled my last name wrong in my email. So I am dyslexic, so it's not my fault. But
and then, of course, Marc von Ahnen was taken immediately after that.
You know what's funny? I have a brother. His name's Matt, and I think he took it. So I was like, well, I'm going to be M. von Hanen for now.
Hanen. Hanen. Okay.
Hanen. Or you can find me. I have a Facebook page, Ahab Van Helsing. It's really dumb. First off, I can't spell. Like I seriously, I'm dyslexic, so it was bad idea for me to come up with a title I can't spell. Like I have to like Google my comic and copy and paste every time because I know I'm gonna spell it wrong. And it's also those things where it's like, how can I find your comic? Well, just look for Ahab Van Helsing versus. And people are like, how would anybody think to look for that? But I have a Facebook page. And also my Instagram, which is,
what's your
I think
Instagram?
it's Marc von Ahnen.
Marc von Ahnen? Okay.
Yeah, M-A-R-C von Ahnen. Yeah.
Spelled correctly. Everything is...
That one is actually correct.
Okay.
I believe. I don't know. I can't tell.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming
guys.
on.
I had a lot of fun.
Glad you joined us.
Yes.
Thank you for having us. It's been a blast.
Everyone check out these comics. They're hilarious.
Mhm.
I've never seen a shark fly and kill people. They're satisfying. I think is the true word that we're going to use for
I
this.
remember by the time like Sharknado 6 or 7 comes out, it was here first.
You'll be able to sue. You'll be able to sue. I think that's what we're trying to say.
That is the idea. I do want to say, if you guys were interested, I am working on my next one, which is just a comedy one called Hilarity.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
Yeah, which is it's funny because I don't smoke. I don't do anything really. I'm pretty straight edge. But my friend Wes is a huge, like he's actually told me that he wishes he was the dude from Big Lebowski. Like that's his hero. So I wasn't going to tell him I was putting him on the cover. I was just going to put Wes on the cover. But then I'd made a shirt of it. So
So he found out. Yeah.
Yeah. And he keeps saying, yeah, I do have a three. He keeps saying, I'm going to buy one of those shirts. And he never does. So I'm pretty mad at Wes.
Well, you can understand. It would be weird to walk around with yourself on your shirt. You know,
Oh, man,
you'd have to be pretty pretentious.
Hey, there's a lot of wrestlers that
Wes.
do that.
Oh, yeah. Wrestlers always do it.
Orange Cassidy, if you ever know who that is, fantastic wrestler. Only has pictures of himself on it when he wrestles.
What's his name? Orange Cassidy?
Orange Cassidy. He's an AEW wrestler, and his rule of thumb is he will only have pictures of himself wearing sunglasses.
All right. I mean, you got to have your thing.
So you have a vampire shark T-shirt on. Is that
I
what I'm
do.
seeing?
Yeah, it's the cover for issue 5.
Awesome.
Mermaid. Little
The
Mermaid.
mermaid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are those for sale?
Yeah, they're on my Threadless store.
Okay. What's
which
that?
I always, I link those to everything, and I'll send you a link if you want to post it with it if you want.
Yeah, I'll post that in the episode notes if you're listening.
Excellent. Or if you guys wanted to buy a vampire shark duvet, maybe something for your wife, because like, hey, look at this sexy thing. Or West Cozad shower curtains.
Are you being serious?
Yeah, they make those.
Wow. Oh wow. That's great.
Nobody's bought them, but you can.
Extra great is like promotion ever. You can do it. No one's done it, but you can do it.
That's why my sales, I didn't last long in sales. I guess you could do it. I don't know. Try
Would
it.
you recommend I buy this? You could buy it. I'm not recommending it, but you could.
You need a roof? I don't know if you want a roof.
I don't know.
You want to
maybe
try a
you're not.
roof on your house? Whatever.
I got a tent. You want a tent? I got a tent.
I do hope somebody buys a hilarity shower curtain just so they have pictures of Wes all over their bathroom.
That's what he bought, probably. He didn't buy a T-shirt. He bought a
By the
a
way, the
shower
rule of
curtain.
thumb that Keegan and I have is if there's any pictures of us, it has to be kept in our bathrooms.
You guys could do a whole Wes bathroom. You could redo your bathroom as just Wes. You can get rugs. You can get shower curtains.
I have wanted to decorate my bathroom in some guy I don't know.
And have you ever Wes from Des Moines, Iowa? I'm giving out a lot of personal information of Wes, by the way. You guys want his phone number?
We're good.
Just I don't, but our listeners might. So if you wanted to,
He's a super nice guy.
So to get Wes's phone number, email Marc von Ahnen.
I will tell you anything you want to know about Wes.
Awesome, Mark. Well, thanks for coming on.
Thanks,
I had fun, man.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, Eric.
Hey, Keegan.
What'd you think of our guest?
Marc?
Yeah, Mark.
Marc is his name. I thought he was a really fun guy. Really funny.
Yeah, definitely was nice of him to come on the show.
Mhm.
Really
Definitely.
like his comics.
Fantastic comics. I would recommend buying 2 copies each, just in case one gets slightly damaged.
Yeah, and if you're listening and you're gonna go pick them up, just know that they really hit the gas in comic 3.
Yeah.
They're really good, the first 2 comics, but you're gonna really enjoy the last 4.
3 through 6 are very, very solid reads that you're gonna reread and not be upset about buying.
But that's with a lot of stories. A lot of stories take time to kind of set up what's going on and what's happening.
Yeah, no, 3 through 6 are super fantastic reads, and should be reading them right now.
1 and 2 are fantastic reads, just fantastic. They're not super fantastic.
Not super fantastic. On a scale of 1 to 10, they're 8s. On a scale for
They're 8. I would say they're 9s. And,
9s.
And the rest of the comic is 10s.
I was gonna say 11s. That's what I was gonna go with.
Okay.
So, on a scale of 1 to 10, 3 through 6 are 11s, and 1 and 2 are 8s. Is how I was gonna do it.
Well, that's a big discrepancy. I would say that they're much closer than that.
Okay, fine. 9 and 11.
Okay. No,
8.5.
we're 10.3, 10.3,
I actually really like them. I would give them 11s. I'm not ashamed to give
and
them
11.2.
11.2s. Yeah, we should be very specific with our numbers.
11.2 and
I'm going to say 10.59 actually for them all.
10 squared over x.
10 squared over x, yeah.
Solve for y.
And as x approaches infinity.
Okay, so we have another guest for today.
Mm-hmm.
And do you mind introducing our second guest today?
Not at all. He is somebody I've known his entire life. He is somebody that I actually ate lunch with today. And that was a fantastic meal. He is my nephew, Henry, who is very, very honest. He's a 6-year-old comic prodigy, in my personal opinion.
He's a mean critic. I'm just gonna
critic.
say it right now. We're about to interview a very mean critic.
He does not pull punches.
He hurt my feelings.
Yes, he has no problem hurting.
I'm just setting this up. This interview hurt my feelings. I may stop making this podcast after this interview.
Wow, that's very upsetting. I liked your comics. I liked number 2 more than I like number 1.
Don't you?
But I still like number 1. I thought it was a very good comic.
I thought
number 2 was a very good comic.
No. I want to say this to all the 6-year-olds who are listening. If you're 6, watch out, okay? Because your words mean something to people. All right?
Words hurt.
Yes.
Words hurt.
That's right. And pull your punches. That's all I'm saying. Okay. So without further ado, who are we talking to?
We are talking to Henry Abramowitz. He is my nephew, 6 years old, and a comic book fan for life.
This interview is adorable, so enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We need a catchphrase.
Yeah, we do. But
do you have a suggestion for a catchphrase, Henry?
Not really.
Not really. Okay.
Done with down?
What was it?
It's either done with down.
If it's done, it's done. It's our catchphrase, I guess. We'll work on it.
Right.
So, for those of you that don't know, we are the Dumb Comic Creators. My name is Eric Schwartz, and today I have a special guest besides Keegan Shiner.
That's right.
And that is my nephew, Henry Abramowitz. You want to say hi?
Hi.
Hi, Henry.
Mm-hmm. So, we were just talking about the fact that Keegan remembers Henry, but Henry doesn't remember Keegan.
That's right. Because older people have better memories.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Is that true? Henry, do older people have better memories?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So you remember you owe me $20? Oh, you owe me $20.
I know.
Keegan knows we're joking. He's laughing. Okay.
So Henry is an avid comic fan, avid comic critic. And today he's going to review Death Maze #1, which I wrote and worked with several artists on the art. So let's get into it.
So Henry, remember we were just talking about Death Maze #1? It's about the superhero who gets caught in a maze. Yeah. And so you said you had a good suggestion about what superhero we should use next.
This guy named Blue Hawk. He's just a mech. He's a guy that goes in a mech that saves the day.
Blue Hawk.
Does like vaccine day. Yeah, it's kind of really weird.
Is this a real character, or you coming up with this?
My grandma made this comic.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, she did.
Grandma
So
made the comic.
what does Blue Hawk do?
Blue Hawk just like saved the day by using vaccines and other sorts of medicines.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
It's a weird thing. I have no idea why she even made this, but it's a weird thing.
So you have suggestions. So what did you like the artwork? Was it pretty, or would you? You can be honest. You won't hurt King's feelings.
I like the artwork, but maybe she could have made it on like blue, like a closer color paper to it.
Okay, closer colored paper to the comic. That's your
Closer.
suggestion.
What does that mean? Closer color paper.
Bluish colored or yellow colored or something close by. It light.
So you're mad that the main character of this comic was not Blue Hawk? Am I understanding that?
The paper that I didn't like. So I thought it was because the white paper. I thought I might have been like yellow or.
So the paper you use in the background, if you look at it, the spaces between are white.
Yes.
So if you'd chosen blue, it might have looked more like the sky, the blue background of the sky, is what we're trying to suggest.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so more dynamic instead of captured in the frames. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. So, do you like the concept of a hero getting caught in a maze?
Yeah, but the problem. I thought the hero would have so much power, but it's not really. That's the problem.
Yeah, the hero doesn't have any powers in this. This hero shouldn't have been doing this. He's like Batman. He doesn't have any powers.
It's a bad hero for if you even a vaccine or something that saved the day would do fine. Just climbing, not really the best superhero.
Climbing's
No.
not a realistic superpower, but vaccines are.
I agree. This he is a bad superhero. He shouldn't have tried to go in this maze.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point.
That's a good thing. Even being caught by a if he even that he got caught by a snake, it's really weird. He should be able to escape it.
He should be, but he wasn't.
Yeah, didn't have the strength to escape a snake.
No, he didn't. And he got shrunken. Did you see that he got shrunken down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was a shrink ray?
It was shrink poison. It was like they throw
Shrink slime.
shrink slime. They slimed him, and the slime caused him to shrink.
And then the snake was bigger than him, and
Can you do that again, Henry?
That's right. Yep.
Is that how snakes eat people?
That's how they eat animals. I'm pretty sure that's how they would eat.
Oh, okay, good.
That makes sense. That holds up.
That holds up. So Henry, we were able to talk about Keegan's comics there. So what's your favorite superhero?
My favorite is either Flash or Spider-Man or Batman.
So should Keegan do like a Flash or Spider-Man or Batman in one of his death mazes?
Yeah.
Okay.
I also kind of like Spider-Punk.
Spider-Punk?
Yeah, the guy that has those spines that come out of him.
Spines?
He is Spider-Man with spines that comes out of him?
That's Spider-Punk. He has these weird spider spines.
Oh, he's a punk rocker who's Spider-Man.
Oh,
He has these weird. That's why it looks like he has these ding ding dings on him.
Oh, I see.
Mhm.
So like hair coming out of
Spider-Punk.
Spider-Punk. Cool.
So could you beat the death maze?
I probably could.
Wow.
Gauntlet's been thrown. Keegan.
I wouldn't really even smartness is superpower. I could have just escaped with smartness.
Yeah, he would just be like, "Yeah, I'm not going to this." He just walks away.
Yeah, that is how you beat the death maze. You
Yeah.
just don't go into the death maze.
And it works.
It works every time.
Mhm.
100% of the time. That works.
Yeah, smarter beats stronger. Smarter beats stronger.
Actually, that's true for almost all the superheroes. That's because a lot of times the villains are more powerful. It's just that the good guys are smart enough to get around it.
In Batman vs Superman, Batman was smarter because he used kryptonite, and Superman's weakness to kryptonite.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Superman's not very smart.
No.
Yeah, the other one really does it. Just punch down.
Is that how he fights? Is that how Superman fights?
No, he goes. Ooh.
And that's just it. He's one. Oh, he does an uppercut too.
Yeah.
Does he?
No, he doesn't really do an uppercut. He just pulls down up his shirt, then flies up, and then he drops him. And he flies down and catches him, and then drops him on the back.
Mm-hmm.
That's mostly with other. And he uses his ice breath, fire eyes, and other power to defeat them, but he's not that smart.
No, he's not that smart.
He's
Yeah.
really not.
He's really not.
Yeah.
I mean, he works as a reporter, but he's also got advantages because he can hear and see everything. So you think it's hard to get the scoop.
But
I
the
think-
problem is he's not that smart, so he never actually gets this.
Yeah, he never gets a scoop because he's not that
He
smart.
does it. It's always Lois getting the scoop. That's
Yeah,
right.
he's always just riding her coattails.
He could be a really good journalist. I agree. He could use his powers correctly for that.
And he could have been smarter and did right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it took him a while to figure out that Bruce Wayne was Batman because Bruce Wayne was just smart, just put a little bit of lead in his helmet, and he's like, "Oh, I can't see it now. It's too hard."
Yeah. It was really, really easy to disguise himself.
Well, this has been a wonderful segment. And
Thank you.
Henry, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you. You might have anything to say?
Otherwise, not really, but
Do you have anything you want to recommend to our 78 listeners out there?
Not really.
Not really. Okay.
And
Are you
do
gonna
have any-
recommend? Could you recommend Death Maze #1?
I wouldn't say it would be the best, but I said it would be fine. It would be a really good thing to maybe get a little bit harder and give the guy some superpowers.
Okay.
on a scale between fluffy bunnies in like a very peaceful meadow to being surrounded by spikes and not being able to escape, what would you
So
give this
spikes are the
comic?
worst. Fluffy bunnies are the best. What would you rate it?
I would rate it a couple inches away from spikes.
Oh God!
Oh wow, that's a low review.
I want him to look fine, but I want him to have powers so he could like do some escape.
But yeah, he doesn't have any powers. That's the big problem, Keegan.
Doesn't
you gotta
have any
fix that.
powers. I mean,
Yeah, make it have a little bit something really that can
Mhm.
make him
Yeah,
like some sort of way to get out of there faster.
Yeah,
Or maybe he can get out.
yeah.
That's a way smarter. Then he'd be way smarter so he can get out fast.
Mm-hmm. All right. Cool.
okay,
Thank
cool. Yeah, thank you.
Henry.
Welcome, and if you want me to come to any more of your videos, just ask.
We definitely will.
You
We
definitely will.
All
right.
You've been a great critic and a great guest.
Thank you, Henry. You've been a great guest, and thank you, Keegan.
Thank you, Eric.
All right. So we are dumb comic creators, and I guess we finally may have a catchphrase, or we'll work on it.
What is it? I don't know.
What was
it
our
is.
catchphrase again, Henry?
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Your catchphrase.
I'm so on that.
Okay, we'll talk about it. We'll workshop it. Great interview. Great interview.
It was a
Much
good
love.
interview.
Much
yeah,
love. Great interview.
it was fun having him on.
Hmm we may have him on again. He's already said he wants to be on again.
He I don't know if I can take it because it's very hurtful.
Well, when I get my comic published, he'll review mine, and we'll have him review it.
We'll have him on. We'll have him on for sure. I
Yeah.
think we should have him on to help us review other comics too.
Yeah. Obviously, we'll have to have that.
And I have Death Maze 2 coming up soon.
And so he'll review that one,
Oh yeah, definitely.
definitely. And he'll be an honest and nice interviewer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe you.
I believe him too. I don't believe me. I think you're a fool to believe me.
No, I completely 100% think it'll go differently next time. I'm gonna
Mhm.
blow this kid out of the water with this next comic. He's gonna be impressed.
Hmm
So Eric, did you read any comics this week?
I have been reading weekly a comic called Chainsaw Man, which is an ongoing Shonen Jump manga.
Okay.
I really like, so I think I want to talk about it.
So what's that about?
So, in like the near future, if someone is scared something enough, it becomes a demon, and that demon can then possess people. But you don't necessarily become evil when you do that. You just become slightly different personality. So Chainsaw Man is about a character. Oh well, first of all, it's written by Tatsuki Fujimoto, who also illustrates it.
Mm-hmm.
A character, the main character Denji, he's a blonde, scruffy-haired man who inherits and saves the chainsaw demon named Pochita. And in the first comic, Denji actually dies.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you,
Uh-huh.
and I'm not pulling punches right now.
You don't have a clue what's going on?
I am completely lost. I fell asleep halfway through your description.
Okay. Pretty much what it is
So break it down in a way like that you would explain to like a 6-year-old.
okay. If you're scared of something, that fear manifests itself into a living demon. So if you're scared of guns, there's a gun demon. If you're scared of chainsaws, there's a chainsaw demon. If you're scared of the future, there's a future demon.
Okay.
Stuff
all
like
right.
that.
Okay.
So the two things will happen to those demons. One, it'll be just living by itself, not bothering anybody. Or actually, there's three things. Two, you can make a deal with the demon, so you sell part of your lifespan. Or
Boring demons, sales demons. What's the third one?
the demon, you and the demon merge, which is what happened to the main character Denji.
And codependent demons.
Codependent demons. So Denji merged with the chainsaw demon.
Denji
Because-
is the main character.
He is the main character because he is killed by a ghost demon, and to save his life, Denji the chainsaw demon becomes his heart. So the chainsaw demon lives inside of Denji, and like
But
literally,
Denji was scared of chainsaws.
People were scared of chainsaws, so that's why.
Just random people are scared of chainsaws.
Are you scared of chainsaws? If I came up to you with a chainsaw, would you be scared?
No,
Okay, well then you would be very strong.
I accept my fate.
You accept your fate. You'd be very strong against chainsaw demon then.
You can't block it. Like, there's no way to block a chainsaw.
Okay. So anyways,
Like, if a plane's going down, there's no plane demon for me.
okay.
That plane is just, you can't do anything. The moment you step
So
onto
is
a
there
plane,
anything that does scare you, Keegan?
well, yeah, things I can control.
Okay. So can you control light switches? Do light switches scare you?
There is a light switch demon.
There is a light switch demon. So you could either like somehow try to please it and you could get the power of the light switch. Or it's just gonna be by itself not doing anything.
I'm mostly afraid of the light switch in my kitchen, which like most of 80% of the time turns on correctly. But then like the rest of it, it's like flickering and you have to like press it just right to get it to stick and like the light to stay on. And I don't know why it does that. I changed the light bulb. You're thinking, if you're listening, you're like, he needs to change the light bulb because clearly it's an old light bulb. It's not. I changed the light bulb. That's not what it is.
Truly a scary
And like I
thing.
said, like most of the time it's fine. It's a scary problem. I don't know how to fix it. Is that the type of demons that we're talking about?
If enough people are scared of them, then yes, that's the type of demons we're talking about.
Well, how many people have to be scared in order for there to be a demon? Can we
Well,
quantize this?
Not that many. It just be a very weak demon. So like the more people are scared of it, the more people the more strength it has. So
What does
like,
weak demon mean? Like it stands behind you in a line, and
or
like,
you could
somebody
probably
cuts in front of it, and it's like, all right.
probably like that. But like you probably could like punch it and be like, the demon went down because it's so weak. Because not that many people are scared of it.
Oh, okay. Wait, do people live amongst demons in this comic? Okay. So then the demons have jobs and stuff?
Well, usually the only jobs they're allowed to have is like giving their powers to people. So
How much does that pay?
well, it depends what it is. So like the fox demon demands that like you like bring it like steaks like every like month or something. So like that's how it survives off of
And then
that.
what kind of power do you get from the fox demon?
You can summon like a fox head to eat like people.
Oh, okay. So you're kind of a dick if you like that demon, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna give this guy some steaks. Oh, you're missing a leg. Sucks for you.
And so like nobody arrests the people that give that fox demon steaks?
Well, like they don't mind that if you give it steaks, they mind that if you like cause it to eat people. Because like if you do that, then like the police demon will like go after you and arrest you.
There's a police demon.
I don't know, but there
Who
should
thought
be.
of this? Well, yeah, everyone's afraid of the cops.
Yeah. Again, written and illustrated by Tatsuki Fujimoto.
Okay, so let's move on. Wait, did we finish the story?
I never even got to the story.
I think we got the story because the story is this guy gets a chainsaw in his chest.
Yeah, and so like, he'd pull like a chainsaw, and like his hands become like chainsaws, and he attacks other demons.
So he just becomes a chainsaw.
He becomes Chainsaw Man.
Okay, that's all I need to know, I think.
Yeah.
Do you need any more?
Well, it's really fun. It's funny.
Does he ever cut anyone?
Yes.
Okay, so then no, you don't need to tell me who. That's all.
Okay, he cuts multiple people, and
Okay.
he also will unhinge the chains and fly around like Spider-Man, which I thought was hilarious. So that's
what? He does
so
what?
So you know how there's chains on chainsaws?
Yeah.
So like if he takes off the chains, he can like ride around like Spider-Man, like around the
What
city.
does he lassos them to
Yes.
something?
He lassos to like random
The
things.
chainsaw chains are like 4 feet long. They're not that long.
According to I don't know what type of chainsaws they have in Japan, but those things are really long.
Oh my God. Does he do any yard work?
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't
because
sculpt. He's not like
he
Edward
needs blood
Scissorhands.
to. So he needs blood to activate his power, and so if he loses too much blood, he can't activate it. So he can't. And by putting on chainsaws, he loses blood automatically because you're cutting up your hands whenever you do it.
Wait, so he is losing blood. He needs blood. How does he get the blood to begin
Usually,
with?
like when he usually gets the blood of his enemies, literally.
Well, how? Does he drink it?
Yeah, he drinks it.
He drinks blood.
He drinks blood.
Well, how does he get it to begin with?
Well, he has it naturally. He just produces naturally, like we produce blood. And then,
Okay.
like when he fights his enemies, he'll cut them and be like, "I drink your blood." Yum 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 yum.
Okay, so he doesn't. He has to get it up by himself,
Mm-hmm.
but then to maintain the erection,
The chainsaw erection, yes.
yeah, the chain erection.
The chain erection.
He drinks blood.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that is gross. No, thank you.
Okay.
All right.
There
so
is a
like,
There is a blood demon.
Okay, of course there is. How's the art, Eric? Tell us about
The art actually like is very barbaric, for lack of a better word. Like it's purposely designed to not be like super fantastic because that's just what the artist, literally the writer's going for. The only time I get ever like looks like surreal, like with a like there's almost never a background. The only time that it ever does have a background is like in moments where like there's like no fear of any demons coming or like anything like that. Like when people feel safe, like the art actually changes slightly. But like
Okay.
majority of the time, it's very just like imagine like if somebody took a pencil and like doodle and like didn't doodle, but like shaded in everything and just did it all by pencil. It looks like that.
Oh, so it looks like pencils, or is it inks?
It's I think inks, but it's done in a way that looks like it's done by a pencil.
So it's kind of, would you say sketchy? Like,
it's very sketchy. Yes.
yeah. Okay. Like not saying it's like sketchy, like who made this, a drug dealer.
Mhm.
It's like sketchy, like a pen is like just
Like
a sketch of something.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
Yes. Very much so.
Okay. And does that kind of like take away the grossness of the gore that I'm assuming there's a lot of?
Yeah, it does. It does really take away like that because like you can't clearly like
Okay.
you really can't clearly see where stuff is and stuff like that.
Well, that's probably good. Yeah. Okay. So then what about the color? Is there color?
No, most mangas are not done in color just because they had to come out with them once per week, so there's never really enough time.
Yeah. I've been doing color for Death Maze 2 for like 2 months. So
Yeah.
I get it.
And like even like comics like they come out once a month like DC and Marvel, they have multiple colors for that very reason because it takes forever.
Okay. So what about the lettering?
Lettering, unfortunately, because it's a manga, it's very much just a computer thing because like somebody just translated over where the Japanese kanji is.
Oh,
So
okay.
I don't know what it's actually like in Japan, where it's actually will be in Japanese because unfortunately, don't read Japanese. So
Oh, I see. All right. So it's just computer done.
Mhm.
Oh, that's okay. Cool. So what about the je ne sais quoi?
That's a French term.
It is a French term. Yeah.
It's a French term. I really, really like it. It's one that I've been reading since the very beginning because it just kind of it's just like it's a comic that is do stuff, have fun comics where it's just kind of like nothing serious really is. There's nothing like deeper meaning. It's just a guy and his chainsaw
Oh, okay.
with
That
long
sounds
chainsaw,
fun.
with very
Yeah.
long ropes or very long chains on the chainsaw.
It's so stupid. That just doesn't make any sense.
They're longer than 4 feet apparently, because like he's just like I gotta go to I gotta get to work. Boom.
It's so dumb.
Mhm.
Okay, so on the scale between the world's slowest chainsaw because the chain is literally 50 feet long and the motor can't handle turning it, sawing into your bone to cut off a poisonous bite that you got from a rattlesnake.
Demon. Rattlesnake demon.
Demon. Of course. Yeah, sure, demon. And a well, I can't even think of something good now because that was so bad.
The people are scared of chocolates, I'm sure, somewhere. The chocolate demon, because he must taste delicious.
Yeah, and getting try like a chocolate demon trying to bite your leg.
This tastes delicious. Yes, I know. I would call it the yogurt demon. Everybody likes yogurt. It's not like anything that bad, but it's not the best in the world.
Okay. Greek yogurt or just like regular yogurt?
I like regular yogurt, but I know most people like Greek yogurt. So
I don't get what it is with Greek.
don't
There
get what it
probably
is.
is a Greek yogurt demon because
I bet there is.
I don't know what it is, and it scares me a little bit to find out. What are they doing in Greece? They have to have different yogurt.
Why is their yogurt different? Like, what do they do?
I don't get it. It's tangy. It tastes like it's like not good anymore.
Yeah.
Yogurt. Like I once had regular yogurt that tasted like Greek yogurt, and I got sick afterwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand that feeling exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's so. Let's translate that review.
I
So
would.
this comic is okay. Is that what
it's okay.
Okay.
It's definitely not the best manga ever, but it's just fun.
Okay.
Find your demon.
All right.
All
Cool.
right,
So check
cool.
out Chainsaw Man if you're interested.
So, Keegan, did you read anything this week?
I did. I read this comic called Atomic Hercules. I'm gonna say I read that one.
Well, did you read it?
I did.
So yeah, you don't need to say you did it because you did it.
Well, I'm saying I did because there's a couple comics I read, but this one I don't know if we mentioned this comic already. We might have mentioned this comic already. Is my problem. So
Okay.
if we already reviewed this comic, I'm sorry, listeners.
But
You
it's so
deserve
good,
better
we
than
want to
this.
review it again.
That's right. We do.
What is the plot of Atomic Hercules?
So Atomic Hercules is by Tony Esmond and Adam Fulp.
Mhm.
I think it was written by Adam Fulp. I found this comic on Kickstarter. If you've not been on Kickstarter, it's a great way to find indie artists that are trying to fund their projects. You can get a bunch of comics for like $5, and make sure your $5 goes to more than one comic if you want, because usually if you're getting digital comics, they'll bundle in their old comics, so you can read a bunch of comics at once. So I found this series called Atomic Hercules on Kickstarter, and I got issue 1 and 2. They're kind of short, and they're about this futuristic society, I guess, where there's a guy named Atomic Hercules, or I guess he's named Hercules, and he lives in a world of the atomic. I don't know. And this comic is not safe for work and not safe for kids. So kids, stay away from this thing.
Henry, you're not reviewing this one.
Yeah, no kidding. So you can see it's like done in this like sort of authentic looking printing style, but with 9 colors too.
Yeah.
And kind of looks like a 70s comic, and it's colored and sort of done like that. The plot makes no sense. Going back to your question, the plot makes no sense. He's hanging out at a bar. They call him to do something. He goes to like fight something. I don't know. He kills some robots in the process. I don't know. I don't know what's going on in this comic, and it doesn't really matter. So that's the plot.
Would you describe the artwork, because you described the plot already?
The art looks like it is, well, it's heavily lined pen. giving it sort of like an old school look. And then the other thing that they did was they put these comics on, they either drew them on old sheets of paper or they took pictures of old sheets of paper and like photoshopped the art onto those, so it looks like it's been printed on old sheets of paper, or like it was printed in the 70s. Like even on some of these pages there's like coffee stains. That's kind of weird. You don't usually see texture in comics, I think, especially not digital comics. So this was kind of interesting to see that. Yeah, but the art is, so it's not sloppy, but it does, like, the artist has his own style and it's not super photorealistic. I don't know how to describe it. I think it's cool, if you want to talk about that. It's kind of cool looking, and there's a lot of like mature themes and little bits, and like when they do show the mutants, you can see that like there's a lot of creativity here. Do you want to describe this, Eric?
So there's multiple different types of mutants. Like ones that look like dogs, one that's an eyeball, one that's looks like the bird from that one Red Robins. He looks like the bird from Red Robins, the restaurant. There looks like one that's a giant mountain, a zombie with no eyes, a snake, a bunch of just different ones. You kind of get the picture.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, so like they spare no expense in the creativity department. I think it's very creative. Like,
yeah, no, it looks like it's very creative.
Yeah.
Does the artwork work with the story? Or does it kind of work against it?
It works with the story. The story is meant to be like that old, really terrible 1970s film, like He-Man. You saw that movie?
I saw that movie.
Masters of the Universe.
Masters of the Universe, yeah.
I mean, that movie is terrible. And there's like 5 knockoffs of that movie, right?
Yeah.
That like you can clearly see it's like shot in the in like the woods next to LA, and there's like Power Man walking through the woods. Have you seen those movies? I mean,
I've seen those movies, yes.
Yeah. So this comic is meant to like make you feel nostalgic for those bad movies that ripped off Masters of the Universe.
That's kind of funny.
That's why there's no plot, because there is no plot. He just kills a bunch of things and he yells at people, and he's like super powerful. He can't be killed. And that's all this comic really is. But yeah, so in that way, the art is perfect because it's bringing you back to that 1970s style, and like making you think, and like the textures making you think that you picked up this relic. And even though it's not, and it's got these hot pink colors in it, and like it's super saturated, in parts. So yeah, that's what the art is doing for the story.
Sounds fun.
You want to talk about the color?
Yeah, let's talk about the color. I also want to talk about the inking too. Let's talk about the color first.
Yeah, sure. Maybe we'll say those go hand in hand. There's not a lot of, I mean, the inking is, it's not heavily inked. So you can see it's still kind of just line art, which means that the color could be doing a lot of shading, to fill in that lack of ink. But the color isn't that. The color is flat color. There's no shading. There's not much highlights. What little effects they have are kind of done in flat color, really. They're just done by, it almost looks like marker too, like the actual color was done with marker and not, so it's not digital color. It does look, everything looks like it has that texture.
How was the lettering?
So the lettering is pretty cool, actually. The lettering has that old school lettering. It looks handwritten. It actually might be a digital font because it's formatted in a way that makes me think that they probably did it in Photoshop.
Mhm.
But the font is well chosen because it does look hand drawn. The actual effects lettering is pretty cool, and fits where it needs to go. There's little like sound effects here and there that fill in what's happening in each panel. So, but I actually do think it was all digital lettering now that I'm looking at it closer. So
That's really cool. So I'm going to throw a French term at you. Be prepared.
okay.
What was the je ne sais quoi about it?
What is that? Like some sort of French term?
It is a French term, yeah.
Okay. So the je ne sais quoi.
A
Gosh,
French
what's
term.
that? What's that even mean?
It's a French term. It's like the I do not know.
Oh, you don't know?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I think it just means that certain I don't know what.
I don't know what. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you didn't know that.
I didn't know that. No,
What don't you know?
je ne sais quoi. What it means.
Well, I
It's
just
a
told
French
you.
term. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know what.
I don't know what.
What don't I know? Apparently, I don't know French.
You just said that you didn't know what.
I don't know what.
What don't you know?
I don't know French.
Je ne sais quoi. I just told you.
It's a French term.
Yes.
Yes. And I don't know.
All right, let's stop.
Stop what?
Okay. I think the je ne sais quoi for this comic is that it is it's fun and it has, you know, like both this and issue 2 are they're not very long, but they are fun to read and they go by quick, but like the style fits the writing really well, so it and it you get what they're going for. You know, you can tell that the artist just had a lot of fun making this.
Mhm.
And so that's kind of what it is. It's very mature and it's definitely like
NSFW.
you know, like old 70s films that just kind of like randomly had a shower, like girls in the shower, and you're like, why is this even in this movie? This was like a romance movie until just this second. That's what this is like. Like there's things in this like that are just literally put in because they thought it would be cool, you know.
Mhm.
And I don't know, and gratuitous, basically. That's the word I'm looking for. Gratuitous. That's what this is. It's gratuitous.
That's not a French term.
You know what? And that's not even part of the je ne sais quoi. That's
Yes.
just the word I would use to sum up this comic.
Gratuitous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The word I would use to sum up the je ne sais quoi is fun.
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 Cool. That's
Cool.
a good sounding comic. So we have 2 comics to recommend. One is about a chainsaw that's too big.
Well, let me rate it.
Well, fine. What would you rate it between being stuck in Los Angeles during when like, you're invaded by aliens or people from a parallel universe?
Aliens from a parallel universe? or
Aliens
just
from a
people? Or
no,
people?
alien people from a parallel universe.
Okay.
So
they're bipods.
What?
They're bipods?
They're bipods, yeah. To
Is that the word? I don't actually even know. Are we
To-
monopods or bipods? We're
bipods, monopods.
Pods are the feet, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so we're bipods.
they're bipods.
So are the
To-
aliens.
Yeah, that's what the type of aliens are. They're bipods.
Okay. All right.
To
Do you have to be a bipod to be a person? I'm sorry. I'm hyper focusing on this.
why don't we talk about this on the next episode for half an hour?
You said the aliens were people from another parallel universe. I just want to
Yes.
know what makes them people.
Because they're bipods.
But they're
They have a
aliens.
heart because they have hearts. Okay, they have evil alien hearts.
I didn't know that. So they have hearts. Does that mean
But
they have
they're
souls?
no, they're sick and twisted hearts with no souls.
Okay, so why are they people?
They breathe carbon dioxide, not oxygen. That's how evil they are.
I'm just trying to define where the people part of the description comes in, because you said that they were people. Like aliens are people too.
Yes,
You could say that.
aliens
So
are
I'm trying to
people
figure out why they're people too. You know?
because they're bipods.
Okay, that's all it was.
Okay,
That was my first guess.
to
Okay, so alien getting attacked by bipods,
in Los
aliens, people
Angeles, in Los
coming
Angeles.
out of a parallel universe in Los Angeles.
in Los Angeles to whenever you're opening the shower, there's random nude scenes of whatever you want to see.
Of whatever I want to see.
Yeah, so like nude scenes can be not just of women, but it could be like, I really want a good cooking show. So you have a raw cooking show that's nude.
Are they sanitary though?
Yeah, they're sanitized. You're not going to watch like a new cooking show better be sanitized. That's disgusting, Keegan.
I thought it was. I was like, why is that the good one?
Because they're sanitized.
Just filthy cooking
Yeah,
of
but
filthy people being filthy.
no, that's disgusting. That's a bad thing. But
That's a
they're
bad
like,
thing.
but they're like sanitized, and
So you're saying I could open my shower and it's like an episode of Friends, but everyone's naked.
yes, if you want it to be, because
Okay.
they could be nude in that they're bearing their soul.
What like what?
Like to be nude is not just to be not wearing clothes, but you could be like telling a deep dark truth or not.
Oh, like artistically nude.
Yeah, artistically nude.
Like
So it's
classy
however you-
nudes, like
so
you
it's
see in a
however you
painting.
define nude to be. So if nude is, well, I'm just watching an episode without commercials. That's what nude is. But if nude is they're bearing their soul, that's what nude is. Or if nude is they're not wearing any clothes, that's what it is.
I thought nude was just nude, like no clothes.
No, this is the good one.
Okay. All right. Well, then I would say this comic
Mhm.
is like being in Los Angeles
Uh-huh.
and being I can't even get through this. Being in Los Angeles and being attacked by bipod nude aliens
Nude aliens.
that
So they're bearing their soul to you.
they're, but they're still sick and twisted. Like
Still
you.
sick and twisted.
Yeah.
We don't like ourselves, so we're taking it out on you.
I had to combine them. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I
So,
don't know. This comic was, it's fun, but it's not worth, like, I wouldn't read this again. And, but it's fun and it's worth like the $5 I paid for it,
that's good.
Yeah. It was worth the read.
Worth the read.
And I hope, I'm going to link to this Kickstarter campaign in the episode notes.
Mhm.
If you want to reach out and try and find the comic, reach out to the creator. But they're working on other projects that are kind of in the same vein of like trying to recreate some of these 70s pulp comics. So if you're into that sort of thing, you can find some more of his projects on Kickstarter.
That sounds like a B plan.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. So, Eric, this has been another episode.
Yeah, we learned so much about bipods.
It has been an episode 11.
Yep.
Bipods that we eat cereal from their skulls.
Their skulls. And 6-year-olds are brutally honest.
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are.
But I think we knew that.
Yep,
we knew that before. Yeah.
We knew that because we are dumb comic creators. And
We sure
know-
are.
We sure are.
Hey, if you want to watch this episode instead of listen to it next time, you can go on our Patreon, patreon.com/dumbcomiccreators.
And if you want to support some two fledgling comic creators,
To what?
two fledgling
Fledgling
comic creators, you can go us and support us on Patreon as well.
That's right. But you're only paying per comic. You're not paying monthly. You're not paying weekly or anything like that. If we release a comic for anyone to read, public or not, we're gonna post it on there, and that will be the paid post. So, Only
And-
support comics. Support some indie comic creators and our podcast.
And if you want us to review anything or talk to you, just send us an email.
Yeah, we're always up for that.
Always enjoying talking to people.
And a big thanks to our guest, Marc von Ahnen.
And our other guest, Henry Abramowitz.
Mm-hmm.
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 I like saying I'm going to say a lot.
I know, but it's triggering this week because I heard another podcast make fun of people. So
I'm going to be the guy.
you do a good I'm not trying to take that away. I'm just
You won't.
I
hope somebody does a
focusing on it.
drinking game where every time we say they drink, because then they would die.
I mean, it's better than me like being like, "Wow, this comic was really wonderful," and you going, Yeah.
I gave you a review question, and we spent more time talking about how to review it than the actual review itself.
Wait, what?
When we talked about rating your comic, we spent more time talking about how we rated your comic because we spent like 10 minutes talking about what's a bipod and what makes a human, and then what it means to be nude.
What's wrong with that? I wanted to know why you called the aliens people.
Because they were bipods.
Well, like what?
They
no,
had hearts.
I'm the one who said bipod first.
I said they have hearts.
Because you said you're being attacked by a parallel universe aliens.
Aliens from parallel
People.
universe.
People. You said alien people. What makes them people?
Because they're bipods.
But that was my theory. I wanted to know in your head why they were people.
Well, because they walked on two legs and they had a language.
But in your head, were you just already like empathizing with these aliens? Like
No, because they're bad guys. They're invading. They didn't have to invade.
Larry and Jay are coming through the portal and they're like, we don't want to be here.
No, they're like, we choose to be here because we're bad guys. We're gonna kill you, pew 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 pew, with lasers because we're bad guys. Bah, 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 bah.
But we're people because we have to go home and live in a
I
society.
have to go home and live in my people society, in my people house, with my people jobs.
Okay. But they're bipods.
But they're bipods.
That is important to know.
Yes.
What kind of aliens? But I
Well,
don't
I
know
didn't
if
want
that
them
makes them people. I was just trying to figure out what made them people.
That's what they are. They're people.
Good yawn.
I
think we better go.
I think it's, for those that don't know, to break the fourth wall, it is getting late.
It is. We record these on Fridays. So
Yes.
you listen to them on Fridays, or anyway, we release them on Fridays. You listen to them at some point in the future because podcasts are forever.
Yes.
So anyway, Eric, thanks for co-hosting.
Thanks for having me, Keegan. And together,
Thanks for having me, Eric.
thanks for having me, Keegan.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having me.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Dumb comic creators.